All right, what's going on, y'all? Today I'm gonna talk about how you can set some pretty big and awesome running or fitness goals and actually make it happen. Not go through another year where you set some goals and then you don't accomplish them. Today I'm gonna tell you 3 tips that I use to set big goals like running a 50-mile ultra marathon, stuff even bigger than that, putting on muscle, whatever it is, and actually get it done. At the end of the video, I'll talk about what I've got planned for this year because I've got some pretty big things in the works, but let's go ahead and get into it. All right, y'all, so the first tip I have for you to set some pretty big goals and actually get them done. This might be something you've already heard of. A lot of people out there already talk about this, but this is something I've been using since my time in the military, and we even used it when I was a firefighter. And that's to set SMART goals. No matter what goal it is, but especially if you've got a big goal or even a fitness goal, you want to set SMART goals. So the acronym SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-oriented. Too many people at the beginning of the year will set a goal like, this year I want to run my first 10K, or, you know, I want to go ahead and set a PR in this event, or I want to put on this amount of muscle. While those are great goals, something great to strive for, they're not SMART goals. And that's why so many people, and this might be even something you've done, that's why so many people set these goals and not actually get them done at the end of the year. You want to go ahead and set SMART goals because they're specific. There's something that you can actually measure. There's something that's probably attainable if you actually set this up right and you set up a training plan around it. It should be something realistic. Now, I'm going to talk about what realistic actually means because I'm one that I like doing epic things and I like doing things that scare me. So you want it to be realistic that you can actually train for it and get it done, but don't let that limit you. But you actually want it time oriented. You need to know, you know, I've got this thing coming up at this time. You know, I'm going to be stepping off at the start line at this time. I only have this amount of time to train for it. It'll hold you accountable. So don't be one of those people that sets a goal at the beginning of the year, and just because it's not a SMART goal is the reason why you fall off the bandwagon. I'll give you guys some examples of my goals that I've got for this year towards the end of the video, and you'll see kind of an example of that. All right, so the second point I've got for you is you've got to go ahead and commit. I don't care if you are, you know, trying to set an endurance goal like running, you're trying to, you know, do something in the gym, whatever it is, you've got to commit to the goal. That's why I'm a huge firm believer in whenever you come up with these goals, preferably their SMART goal, that you actually go ahead and you commit to it by signing up for whatever it is you want to do. So if you want to run a 5K, you want to run your first marathon, you want to do an ultra, or you want to do a powerlifting meet, whatever it is, go ahead and sign up for it right then. Even if it's 9 months out, go ahead and commit, because once you actually have the race locked down or the event locked down, whatever it is, you know that you've now paid for it, you're on the roster. It's more concrete than just saying, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and run this year. That's why so many times people will set these goals, and the non-SMART goals and the non-committed goals are the ones that kind of go by the wayside. On those days that you don't actually want to get up and train, get up and run, whatever it is, if you don't actually have it locked down, there's a good chance you're not gonna actually get up and do whatever the training is for that day. If you've got something on the schedule that you're already on the roster for, it's going to give you a bit more motivation. That's why, you know, so many people have the argument between motivation and discipline. You know, both of those things are great, and you should have, you know, balance of motivation. You should have quite a bit of discipline, but that's where if you go ahead and commit to a goal, it's going to allow for both motivation and discipline. If you don't actually commit to the goal, one, you could be lacking motivation. There's going to be several days, even when you're locked in on a goal, you're not going to have motivation, but it holds you accountable to that exact time and date. That way you can go ahead and set the discipline. But let me go ahead, get in my car, get back to my place, and I'll talk to you guys about the third point and then my goals.
All right, guys, I just got back. So the next tip I've got for you is I highly recommend you go ahead and you track this. So this could mean if you already have experience running or you've got experience lifting, whatever it is that your goal has to do with. If you've got experience in that, you might already know how to program training. So this might mean you know how to actually go ahead and program your running workouts to get you to whatever your goal is. If you don't know that, that might mean you need to go ahead and get a coach, or you need to go ahead and purchase a one-off training plan. But the whole point here is I highly recommend you track your progress to your goal. I track literally everything. So I have a Google Sheet set up, and I highly recommend Google Sheets if you are getting started with this. It's very simple and allow you to track all of this. I have a Google Sheet set up for my training. So on the main tab, it's got my schedule. It'll have what my lifting workout is for the day. So if it's, upper body or push pull or legs, whatever it is, and then it'll have my run workout. And then as I go through and I do that, I'll check it off. And then on another tab, it has all of my runs. I literally have 3 years worth of runs on there of, the time, the distance, the pace, heart rate, how I felt, notes about it. And if you guys have been following me for a while, on the lifting side, I have like 8 years worth of books that I track every single set and every single rep at what weight. You don't need to track as much data as that, but the more you track, the more you're going to see progress towards your goal, and then that'll lead to motivation, which obviously will help you get to your goal much easier. And then this will help you even when you reach that goal for future goals. So if you are trying to run your first 50K ultra marathon, and then you accomplish that and you're wanting to then run a 50 miler, one, this is going to help you if you want to start programming your own workouts. But then two, this is going to help you look back at the data and see how much you've grown over that time. So I highly recommend you track things. So first we have, go ahead, make sure that it's a SMART goal. Second is make sure that you commit. Third, track as much as you can. And then getting back to when I talked about SMART goals, talking about setting realistic goals, this is where I recommend not boxing yourself into too small of a goal. I'm more along the mindset of setting goals that scare you. I like setting goals that scare the crap out of me. When it's realistic, you want to set a goal that you have enough time to go ahead and train for whatever it is, and train for it to where you're not setting yourself up for great risk of injury. But I do recommend setting goals that really push you out of your comfort zone. Those are going to be the goals that really fire you up. Thinking about getting across the finish line of a distance you've never even gotten close to before, or crushing a PR, whatever it is, setting those big goals that you're like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Those are the ones that are really going to fire you up, and they're going to keep you accountable on knowing I only have this amount of time to do this really big goal. So I'm more of along the mindset of, setting goals that really scare you, because those are the ones that I've seen when you actually do go and accomplish them, and then you're actually training for them, that's where you have quite a bit of growth. You've got growth physically, mentally, and spiritually when you go ahead and you push yourself out of your comfort zone and you set the realistic but stretching goals. So just keep that in mind, that when you set those SMART goals, the specific goals, the goals that you can actually go ahead and track. So, running a 10K race at this specific race, at this time, on this date, all of that specific, obviously it's measurable. You want something attainable, something you actually can do. But when it comes to the realistic side, let yourself push, let yourself stretch in that moment. But getting back to my own goals, so if you guys have been following me for a while, you know that last year I was training for another 50 miler. It was going to be the Lean Horse 50 up in South Dakota in August. And there I was going to try to set a new PR for the 50 mile for myself. COVID shut that one down. The race got canceled. So big plan for this year is to run the Lean Horse 50 miler in South Dakota in August. And the goal right now is to set a PR. My PR in the 50 mile is 9 hours, 3 minutes. I would like to do it at least in 8 hours, 45 minutes. I'm thinking about making the PR goal even faster than that though. 8 hours, 45 minutes doesn't scare me enough. So I might be changing that soon, but that is the big goal that I'm striving for right now. To ease myself back into racing, I'm looking for a 50K in either in April or May. I've got a couple races scheduled out right now that I'm trying to pick between. So April, May is going to be a 50K. I will definitely take you guys along the journey of that. And then the whole prep for the 50 miler. And then that's gonna set me up for 2022, where I've got some 100 milers planned, and then a big multi-day event. That one actually scares the crap out of me. So, you know, I would love to go ahead and hear back from you guys. Let me know what your goals are down below. This is definitely more of my fitness goals for this year. If you guys want me to talk about my business goals and all of that, my self-development goals for this year, I can definitely do a separate video on that. But I would love to hear back from you guys on, no matter how big or small your goals are, let me know down in the comments below what you've got planned for this year and how you plan to actually go through and accomplish them. But if you guys enjoyed this video, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Be happy, be positive, be powerful. Have a great rest of your day.